Today we have canine nutrition specialist chef Scott Hill. Are you a human chef too, or just a dog chef?
Oh, 30 years deep.
Oh,
human chef.
So
yeah.
cool. So cool. My husband would love to talk to you. Of Wolf Creek Dog Wellness, as in Woof, WOOF, along with co-founder and Scott's prettier half. I don't know who wrote this, so that's not me. I'm sorry, Scott. It was written by her. Okay,
I agree with it. I agree with it.
Lisa Monk. And they are one of our gold sponsors for the upcoming Naturally Healthy Pets experience in Tampa, Florida on March 25th. So tell us about Wolf Creek. First of all, it's a really interesting name, but how was Wolf Creek born? Everybody always has a great story. Like, you're a chef. There had to be something that happened that made you say, oh, I'm going to make something for dogs instead of something for people.
Yeah. So, Lisa tells the story. We're that couple that says, you take this one.
Okay.
Lily, our first spoodle, thought of the name Woof. She woofed about the things that Scott was making her, all of our clean novel proteins. And so she thought of the name, and we live by a creek. So it was adorable. Pretty simple. But the thing that happened to all of us, COVID. So yeah, we had a restaurant downtown Tampa where Scott was the chef and I worked the rest of the business. And March 20th of 2020, actually, after serving the New York Yankees, in New York, 3 days of a huge cater in, half the team was in quarantine. And the ring was on the wall, and the Brightside Cafe and Catering closed the doors. Yes, a month later, our human kids were obviously e-learning. We were stressed. Our newly remodeled, renovated business was closed.
Perfect time.
Everyone was scared. We were all scared. So the kids had a great argument for getting an emotional support pup. We had no argument. We were now home all the time. And our first standard poodle, hypoallergenic, 8-week-old was Lily. And Scott found catharsis in doing what he always does, nourishing his family.
I was driving her crazy. She came to me and said, you need something to do. Follow your heart.
That's right.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So you went from cooking for people. You said, hey, there's probably a need for some sort of concoctions for dogs. I think I'll make them.
Yeah. It was at first I didn't really connect the two, being a chef and wanting to care for dogs. And then I was like, well, I've always loved animals. I've always had dogs in my life. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I can build something out of my skill set here. And I started digging in, and I was like, I need to know a lot more than what I already know as being a chef. So I started taking nutritional courses, started digging deep, reading your books, reading Dr. Becker's books, and just immersing myself. And then all of a sudden we had an idea and a mission.
It came in handy when Lily at 9 months had some major health issues. Allergies and anxiety were over the top. And, we were at that time with conventional vet guidance and Apoquel and Cytopoint and Trazodone. We didn't want it. And Scott had already, planted the seeds for his knowledge base. And I think February 2021 was when we really had her chronic issues under control, started helping friends and family. Just, we were already, we wanted to do a mission-based business for clean ingredient, nourishment for pups. But the next step became, it just blew up. We were really able to conquer some major issues that our girls had and so many other pet parents, like joints and gut health, all the goodness.
Yep. All those good things. So why did you guys decide you wanted to be a sponsor of the Naturally Healthy Pets event in Tampa?
I'll take it.
That was a no-brainer, but you take it.
I mean, the guidance we got as pet parents during our health issue roller coaster was finding leaders like you, to bring that to Tampa Bay, where we are all in dire need of this holistic food as medicine, clean lifestyle for our fur babies kind of resource. So you coming here, Tampa Bay needs it. Everyone needs it so badly. So we're so proud to be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there's a huge group there, Tampa Bay Dog Moms or something. That's a big group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Driving force.
for people who are interested in natural wellness, how quickly do you feel that this market is growing?
Wow. I wake up every night going, are we doing enough? Are we doing enough fast enough? It's because I believe it is growing quickly, which there are a few things you have to worry about with that. You want to make sure that all the products out there are from good sources and whatnot. But it's growing fast, but not fast enough. I still hear from pup parents all the time, my dog's suffering from this, that, and the other. And I always ask them, what about diet? What about your dog's environment? And most of the questions I ask about folks' dogs, they've just never really thought about those types of answers. It's always a conventional response.
Because that's all they know.
Yeah.
That's all we knew.
Growing quickly, but still has leaps and bounds to go.
So you can do us a favor, clone yourself about 1,000 times.
Man, I wish I could. Like, if I could get the vet schools to, like, I've even, me and a lot of my holistic friends, like, we've tried to do talks at vet schools. They're like, we are not letting you in our doors. So it's set up
against,
it's a really big uphill climb. But I will say that Dr. Shea at Chi Institute in Florida, that's where we learn our Chinese medicine. He has just really broken a lot of ground and has trained probably 50,000 veterinarians. That was what we needed to. So the Florida Veterinary School actually does have a holistic track with TCVM, which is amazing. So we are getting some students, and I've actually interviewed quite a few new grads over the years who have gone ahead and gotten their acupuncture training, because that's becoming more mainstream. So at least we're getting people to listen a little bit. We're getting more acupuncture. Now, if we can just get them to change their tune about pet food, then we'll be in a lot better shape. That's the big battle. We're at that is big pharma. All right, so let's talk about.
I heard Dr. Richter on your program a while back say that it's hard to get people after so many years in to backtrack and say, well, I was wrong.
Yeah, they don't want to do it. And the holistic vets who are aging out, we're having a really hard time finding someone to come in and do what we do. So it's really tough. But let's talk about your products. And so Instagram can't see the pictures, and actually they're kind of small. So I'm going to hold up the products as we talk about them. So the first one we're going to talk about is your flea and tick defense. And this is something that is mixed in their food, correct?
That is correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we even tell folks, if your dog is stubborn, mix it with something they like, their treat or something.
Gravy.
Yeah. For anybody who feeds sardines, a lot of times if you open up a sardine and sprinkle whatever they don't like and make a little sardine sandwich, the sardine tastes pretty much covers anything else.
Yeah.
So if they're a fish eater. So this is really cool. This has brewer's yeast, garlic, and neem, as well as tremella mushroom. And we were talking about your mushroom sourcing before we went live, and they are sourcing their mushroom powders for these from the same place, the same manufacturer that provides the ingredients for other products that we carry on our website. So we know that the mushrooms that are in here are really good. And I love to see that you have garlic in here, because we have spent the last year fighting online on social media with people about garlic is not toxic.
Oh, I know.
It's not, folks. This is fine.
Yeah, there was one study, many, many moons ago where they gave dogs excessive amounts of garlic, and then now it's become the unfortunate standard.
Yeah. Yeah. When you give them 40 cloves a day for an extended period of time, you're going to get trouble. When you have a
Yeah.
little bit of garlic, you're not going to have a problem. So that's very cool. And we are heading into flea and tick season. So really critical. Well, actually ticks are all year round, but we're heading into flea season
Yeah.
soon. Although I say that with, sort of a sorry for you guys who have 2 feet of snow coming down on you right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in Florida, we're not facing that.
We forget about that down here in Florida. It's 86
know.
degrees outside right now.
It is 80 degrees here today. So I'm like,
Oh my
look,
gosh.
there's a blizzard.
We're coming
Sorry,
up with
guys.
we're coming up with a companion product to go with that as well, a topical to go alongside that.
Just extra precaution.
Mhm.
But for you up in North Carolina and us down here, especially in Florida, we're year-round flea and tick, and our biggest concern was the NexGard lawsuit. We didn't want our girls to have any issues neurologically. So for 11 months now, they've been flea no issue.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you live in a really high tick and flea area, sometimes you have to attack things from multiple directions.
Oh, sure.
So using a topical, using an oral, doing your tick checks, doing your flea combing, whatever. So I love being able to layer natural products on. All right. So the next one we want to talk about is your gut and digestion support. And these are color coded too, which I like.
Yeah.
It makes it much easier when you're trying to pick up the right one off the shelf.
It helps us.
So this one has shiitake and chaga mushrooms in it. It has multiple strains of probiotics. And then for the prebiotic in there, we've got FOS, larch, and humic and fulvic acid, which are all ingredients that I love. So, and that's another powder. Does this one need to be refrigerated after it's opened?
It doesn't. The lab that blooms those probiotics actually have a special process of thermal coating, and there's a lot of science behind it that it looks really cool on paper, but it does two things. It allows them to exist at room temperature, but also the thermal coating allows them a better chance of making it all the way through the gut to where it needs to be.
Cool. And I like your packaging. I like the little metal tins.
Thank you.
Because they could be recycled, or they could be used for storing other things. Like I do dried herbs out of my garden. These would be perfect for that.
We encourage folks to hang on to the tin, because once you buy the tin, you can buy a refill package from us, and you just
awesome.
It. Yeah.
So you just refill the powder. Good idea. Sustainable.
Yeah.
All right.
That's important.
That's important these days. All right. So the next one up is hip and joint. This one has turkey tail and chaga, but it also has green lip mussel, bovine, and marine collagen, and really interesting Pacific whiting as an omega-3 source.
Yes.
Very cool.
And one of the reasons for that is the Pacific whiting is it's like a concentrated protein. And many of our customers that use this are senior dogs, and that extra boost of protein has actually converted itself into energy in a lot of our senior dogs. One of the biggest comments that we get is, boy, my dog is not only not getting up grumbling, but also has a little more energy than before. I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good for building muscle mass. So it's really good for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next up we have immune and allergy support. And this one has a ton of mushrooms in it because it's immune support. It has reishi, turkey tail, maitake, and shiitake. And I rarely see maitake used, and I love it. So
it is a beautiful mushroom.
Yeah, and it doesn't get near the accolades that it deserves. But so let's see. We also have green lip mussel in this one. We have colostrum. I'm a huge fan of colostrum. Is that bovine colostrum that's in there?
It is, yeah. And we use only grass-fed bovine colostrum as well.
Perfect. And then it also has kelp and nani. But you have nani in all of them, or just some of them?
2 or 3 of them. I use it for a couple different reasons. One, it's just an amazing superfood. And number two, the combination of flavors of it has kind of a fruity / blue cheese aroma to it that dogs just go nuts for. And they don't know that they're getting all these crazy polyphenols and antioxidants, they just love the flavor. And it's one of my favorite ingredients.
Awesome. Yeah, because I don't see that in too many pet products. So that's kind of cool. All right. And then we have stress and anxiety, which after, oops, I can get over here. So after your COVID story, what happened is a lot of people got dogs because everybody's home. And then everybody went back to work and we have all these anxious dogs. Oh my gosh. Well, anxious
Indeed.
Every pet. So this one has even more mushrooms. We have reishi, lion's mane, maitake, and shiitake. We have the nani. We have kelp, alfalfa. Really interesting here. Pork liver for the B vitamins, because B vitamins are really critical for nerve function. And we find a lot of animals are low. So that's really cool to have that in. It probably makes it taste better. And then it also has chamomile, which is a really good herb for anxiety and nice and soothing. So,
and that pork liver is when your dogs are suffering from that chronic stress, then they're just not absorbing the vitamins and minerals that they need as efficiently. And that pork liver is so bioavailable. I mean, it goes to work immediately.
It's very cool. Somebody says, what if you want to use all of these so far with your dog? Cool. Is it too much mushroom? No, you know what? I'm a firm believer in you can't do too much mushroom.
Bingo.
Like mushrooms are so powerful, and I don't think there's a downside. And from a Chinese medicine standpoint, they are so good for draining damp, and dampness is a condition that we see with a lot of arthritis. So animals who are worse in the cold, damp weather with their arthritis, which is kind of what we usually think of for older people and for older animals with arthritis, that, oh, geez, I know when it's going to rain because my knee hurts. I know when it's going to rain because my dog isn't moving around as much. Mushrooms are really good for draining damp. And damp is also a problem for digestion. So for a lot of animals with IBD, they've got that watery stool. The mushrooms are really good. Plus, they're such a good prebiotic for the probiotics. It's just a really good fiber source, really good vitamin source. So awesome stuff. This is very cool. All right. So where can people find out more? That's a great thing. Where can people find out more about Wolf Creek Wellness?
Woofcreek.com. Just make sure it's WOOF. Instead of wolf.
Right.
Yeah, woofcreek.com. You'll find you can dive in deep on all of our products, and there's a few blog posts on there as well.
And we would love to offer your viewers to thank you and everyone the Dr. Judy 30% off of our.
So if you go to woofcreek.com and put in the code Dr. Judy 30, you will get 30% off your order. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, absolutely. We really believe in doing everything we can to get our products out there and to help as many dogs as we can. In fact, after you buy our product, you'll get an email in like 35 days or something like that. And we ask you, about the product. How's your dog? How's your baby doing? And we offer you a free consultation with me. And I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart is our customer service in that respect.
That's awesome. Are any of your products available in pet stores yet, or is it all at woofcreek.com?
Actually, the co-host of the great event, March 25th, that we're so excited to meet you in person, Alir Pet Store carries our products. A few other retailers in Tampa Bay and around the country, actually. There's sporadic California, Utah, Tennessee, a veterinary office of an integrative vet here in Tampa, the Heights. But the website is the first and foremost. And then we're at markets all over Tampa Bay. We're going to be in North Carolina, actually, in the summer. Just meeting fellow pet parents and sharing resources like you and Susan Thixton and anything we can do to help the mission. That's our plan.
Awesome. That is awesome. So how many poodles do you have now?
And I'm always looking.
She's always looking.
I'm always looking.
Having 2 poodles is like having 10 poodles.
20 toddlers.
Well, at one point we had 13, I think was our max. And right now we have 4, and 4 seems to be too many right now, but that's because we're working the new guy into the pack. So anytime you bring in a new guy, you got to go through the whole hierarchy and change everything around and figure out what's what. So, but you can never have too many.
We had planned on having them in the room with us today, but today was like National Rambunctious Toddler Canine Day or something. They were crazy today. So they're in
mine was carrying on like a fool right before we went live, and now he's passed out. Thank God.
So, that's cool.
All right. Well, we will see you in Tampa.
We're so excited.
Folks who are listening, watch our social media because we are going to be offering a little it's not even a contest, a drawing for 2 people to get free tickets to the event in Tampa. So watch our social media. You gotta be there.
Yeah. We're so excited.
I know. I'm so excited. I was going to be in Florida anyway, and I was like, well, let's have an event. So here we go. We're having an event. But thank you so much for your sponsorship. I really, really, really appreciate it. So Facebook and Instagram, we've got a link in the feed for tickets, and we'll get it posted to Instagram as well. I'm being told that if you use code Tampa10, you can get 10% off your tickets when you go to that.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
That's another little bonus, Tampa 10. Okay, everyone have a wonderful afternoon. We'll be back on at 2:00. I forget who I'm talking. Oh, the Holistic Cat Conference we're going to talk about. All right, cool. So much on my plate, I can't even keep track. Thank you very much for all the work that you do.
Thank you for having